First, we're going to start by practicing using value in art. Value is the amount of lightness or darkness in a color. We're going to practice some shading here to get different values that we'll then add to our abstract name designs. First, start by writing your name here where it says name, and then don't forget to write your room number. Remember to write the letter of your group. It could be A or B. Then it says create two value scales, one in pencil and one in colored pencil, shading each box with a different value from light to dark. So here's the pencil. It goes from light, medium to dark. These boxes in between would be like a light medium and then a medium dark. You can get different values from your materials by the amount of pressure you apply to your pencil. So I'm pressing very lightly on my pencil to get a light value. And this is going to be the lightest of the values. So I really want to press lightly here. I don't want to make it too dark because in each box I have to get even darker. Then in the next box, it should be slightly darker than the one before it. So I'm pressing a little bit more on my pencil. You can always go back and add more value. And if you feel like you added too much, you can erase with this one because we're using a regular pencil. So that is slightly darker than the one before. And now I'm trying to get a medium value, so a little bit darker. I'm going to continue doing this until I get to the darkest value. Pick any color of colored pencil to do your next value scale. Again, starting in the light box and pressing very lightly on your colored pencil. And going all the way to the dark side. So each box gets slightly darker and you're applying a little bit more pressure to your pencil. Once you're done practicing using value, then you can get your abstract name design, and we're going to add some different values to the shapes created by our letter design by shading. So notice that I've done some here with a blue-green color. We're going to be using colored pencils to add color to this, so pick out 3 or 4 colors that you would like to use. You can think about the color wheel when you're thinking of color choices. I have an example of analogous colors here. Analogous colors are colors that sit next to each other on the color wheel, and they go nicely together. So I have a violet, a dark blue, a lighter blue, which would fall in this area, and then kind of a blue-green. Another set of analogous colors could be like a red or pink, an orange, and a yellow. Another idea might be complementary colors, which are colors that are across from each other on the color wheel. So for example, if I have blues and then I pick oranges or oranges and yellows, those are complementary colors. You could do reds and greens, violets and yellows, just look at what is across from it on the color wheel. Or you could just think of doing all warm colors and all cool colors. Remember that you should only pick about 3 or 4 colors for your design. And when you start to add color, look for a shape that you can fill in with color. That shape might go all the way to the edge of the paper. That means that would be all that color. If your shape is really large, then it's going to fill up a big area with one color. When you do this, pick one side of the shape and then the opposite side will be a light value. So for example, in this O shape, this side I can have dark, and then I'm letting go of my pressure to get a medium value, and then I'm barely pressing down to get a light value. So it doesn't matter what side is dark, you pick, but one side is dark to medium to light. And I like to work with one color at a time. Notice that I've colored in all of these shapes with this blue-green. I'm going to continue doing blue-green around my paper, and then I can use another color on some of the other shapes. I'm not putting blue-green right next to another blue-green space. So right here, I wouldn't want to put it. Right here, I would not want blue-green. And I also wouldn't want it in this large shape here because it's close to the O. So my next shape maybe could be inside of the R. Remember to choose one side to be a dark value and then gradually shade so it gets to be a light value on the other side. And you should fill in that entire shape with color. You can go back over it to fill it in a little bit more. One thing you want to try to avoid is having a dark value and then a very light value next to it. There's no medium value here, so if that happens, you just need to press down a little bit more with your colored pencil to get a medium value. And then you should also have that light value at the end. So it shouldn't be, again, like dark and then very light. You want to have a little bit of that medium value in the middle. That's the whole point of shading, so that it looks like it gradually gets lighter. And it just takes practice. If you need to, you can practice on the back of your paper or on a free draw paper. Now that I've gone throughout my paper and filled in sections with the blue-green color, I'm going to move on to another color. So remember, you want to work on one color at a time and scatter those sections throughout so they're not all clumped together in one area of your artwork. When you're working on a bigger section, remember to choose one side that will be the darker value. So for example, in this section, I could choose this curve of the letter O to be the darker side, and everything that's further from it would be getting lighter. So some of your sections are going to be bigger and some of them will be smaller. So I'm going to go ahead and work on adding dark blue throughout my artwork. Now moving on to using a light blue, I'm going to try to find places to put the lighter blue so that they're not right next to each other. So I wouldn't want to put light blue here and light blue here and light blue here. I have a fourth color I'll be using after, which is violet. So remember, when you're coloring yours, to scatter your colors throughout your artwork. Also remember, when you are coloring a section that reaches the edge of your paper, you're going to want to continue the light value all the way out to the edge. Sometimes your sections will end by the edge of the paper, and other times it will be a line that creates a shape within the letters. So your section either ends at the edge of the paper or with lines created by the letters. And now the remaining sections that are still white are going to be my purple sections. So I'm going to color those in. Remember, you're choosing one side to be where your dark values are, and then you're shading until you get a medium value and then a light value on the opposite side. So from dark, medium to light. I hope you had fun with this project, creating an interesting design with the letters of your name and learning how to use value through shading with colored pencils. I can't wait to see how yours turns out.